I'm Emily Canal, Inc.'s resident Shark Tank expert, and this is Tips from the Tank. Jenny Goldfarb was seeking $100,000 for 10% of her business, Mrs. Goldfarb's Unreal Deli, and it's a line of plant-based corned beef. Jenny Goldfarb grew up in New York, and her great-grandfather actually came to the city from Romania. When he moved to the US, he started working in delis and eventually opened his own in the city, and that really stayed in Jenny's bloodline. So deli sandwiches, corned beef, pastrami, she was telling the sharks that these are things that she grew up on and loved. However, about 10 years ago, she moved to LA and decided to become vegan after watching videos about animal cruelty.
I had a meat and potatoes husband and some young kids, and I had to figure out how to reconfigure my cooking methods. So I bought every vegan cookbook I could find, and I figured out how to cook from the produce aisle and the grains aisle. Ultimately, the food started getting good, and so I realized there are a lot of delicious burgers on the market in the plant-based world, but there was no authentic, classic deli meat.
While only being in business for 6 months, Jenny has sold $10,000 worth of products and was expecting to get her products into Whole Foods later this year. This is a relatively short pitch, but the sharks were really excited about it. One of the things that Jenny had going for her is that plant-based foods are very well established in today's market. We know the demand for them. We know that people are really focused on eating healthy and looking to those plant-based options. So guest shark Ann Wojcicki, who's the co-founder of 23andMe, and Kevin O'Leary both expressed concerns that Jenny wouldn't be able to compete with some of these larger companies that have billions of dollars coming in from Silicon Valley. And they kept addressing that point and asking how she was going to defend herself. Jenny didn't really get a chance to answer that question because other sharks started making offers. Kevin O'Leary offered her $100,000 for 20% of the business.
I'll give you $250,000 for 20%.
Okay, but this is right now, do or die?
Do or die, tell me what you want to do. I'll be on the front page of it. I'll be the poster child for it. We'll hustle.
Mark Cuban, you got yourself a deal.
That's what's up.
Very, very smart.
I don't hustle, I don't mess around either.
Sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
The first takeaway from this pitch is justify your valuation. If you're going on Shark Tank or taking any meeting with any investor, you know they're gonna ask how you got to the number that you're presenting to them. So Damon John was that person on Shark Tank. He wanted to know how she reached a $1 million valuation when her business was just a couple of months old. Jenny came ready with those answers. She said that other plant-based investors had reached out to her offering her $500,000, and she was approaching the sharks only seeking $100,000, so that's a fraction of the cost. Additionally, she was the creator of the recipe and brings value in her own way. The second takeaway is be willing to negotiate. We've talked about this on the show before, that entrepreneurs who go into the tank unwilling to give up the amount of equity needed to entice their shark, they're not gonna get very far. Negotiating is so important on Shark Tank, and if you're not willing to give up that equity, you're gonna really piss off the investors. We saw this just a few episodes ago with Blue Land, the company that was trying to make eco-friendly cleaners. They were nickel and diming the sharks when it came to equity and really angered them. Mark Cuban got so frustrated, he accused the two co-founders of going on the show just for publicity. Jenny is a great example of someone who was willing to negotiate and telling the sharks that outright. She said, all right, I'm here to negotiate, and she was. She was willing to hear different offers and different deals. The third takeaway is be ready to make a quick decision. We've seen this on Shark Tank before, where Mark Cuban does his tried and true, where he offers a deal and says to the entrepreneur that they cannot negotiate, they can't counter, and they can't hear any other deals from other investors. So you need to be ready. You need to be on your feet and know what you're willing to give up, what you're willing to take in return for that powerful investor. Mark Cuban is that guy. He has a very recognizable name. He has a very good investment record, like the other sharks. So if he's telling you he's going to increase your valuation, give you more than double the amount of money you were seeking, you need to act fast. I'm Emily Canal. This was Tips from the Tank. And remember, act quickly or you might miss out.